turn it, flip it on whenever you.
Anybody have any plans to launch a grow operation in Texas under the new CBD only law?
Yeah, we have, so right now we have plans for a 18,000 square foot facility, which 9,000 square feet of that is canopy. We're going to have, our design right now is for 330 lights, so we're going to be producing about 2,500 pounds of dry flower a year. And that's just really me and my brother's forte. I mean, we're through and through cannabis growers. Been doing it for a long time. That's what we do, you know. So yeah, we do have plans, and we don't have. I mean, not only do we have plans, I mean, we have. We're pretty far along in the process. You know, we're in communications with the DPS through our consultants and our attorneys, and you know, we're in the design phase of our facility right now. We have a investment fund that we put together, and you know, we're definitely going to be in the industry from the cultivation side for cannabis oil come July of 2017.
Yeah, I'd like to answer that question as well. And we did a. I'll give you the short answer, and then I'll kind of give you the longer answer. The short answer is that whenever we originally got into this, that was what our intentions were. As we continue to look at the regulations and what it's going to come down to as of right now, we're not going to participate in it. The reason being is because it's too restrictive. We did several financial feasibility studies on it and just determined that the way that it's structured right now is not financially feasible for a company to sustain in it. And part of the reason being is because one is right now in the current state that it's in, it's only good for one specific form of epilepsy. So any extra plant that you have left over, you have to destroy if it's not utilized for that. Any extra oils that you have is going to end up sitting on your shelves. You can't use it. You can't. We have a better opportunity right now in the current business structure that we have to be able to provide access to more customers, more per se patients, than what the state of Texas is going to allow us to be able to do if we get on board with that particular program. So at the current time, what we decided to do is that we actually were in the process of putting a coalition of farmers together, along with a lab. We're dealing with one of the largest extraction manufacturing companies, CO2 extraction manufacturing companies in the nation. And we're in the process of forming a coalition right now with these guys. And it's for a couple of different grow operations that are in southern Colorado. It'll be up around Trinidad and Walsenburg. And what the intentions are with the extraction company and with the farmers, because we want to do an outdoor grow. And so we're hoping that the legislation is going to allow us to be able to do hemp outdoors, just like they do in Colorado. And if they allow us to do that, we've already got the land in place through different farmers that are here in the state of Texas to be able to do that. So the plan is that we would have the extraction facility and the other places in place right on the border, right around the edge of the border of Colorado and Texas, and we'd be able to move those extraction facilities into the state of Texas at that point and be able to go ahead and move those facilities. So what we're looking at doing right now is being able to continue to provide access to everybody on a 50-state basis, especially in the state of Texas. There's 26 million residents in the state of Texas. So out of those 26 million, we can't see a reason why we would restrict that down to just one form of epilepsy, whenever there's so many other people that, and see, we can actually say that Texas has realized that there is a medicinal purpose for this stuff, because you've already said it. So why restrict everybody else from having the use of being able to do that? So we don't want to do that, so we actually backed away from that. Now, if Texas changes their stance on it in this next legislative session, which we'll play a huge role on as well. We'll stand behind every single organization we can possibly stand behind to see if we can get changes made to it as well. Now, if they make changes to the regulation, then yeah, we'll stand in line for our licenses and stuff. But in the current state that it's in right now, it doesn't make financial feasibility for it, and it doesn't make sense to all of our current customers and everything. So that's correct.
Nathan, did you have anything to add?
Our company may be, maybe not, I'm not sure, I don't make those decisions. But in Texas, it would probably be anytime soon if that's where we're going, so.
Okay. Next question.
And there are proposed amendments right now that we're working with a couple of different organizations, so and we need everybody to be involved to pass this. I mean, from a veteran standpoint, from a patient standpoint, you know, we feel very confident that certain conditions are going to get added to the bill. And this is you know, we're in communications with very high level people in the state, you know, and they're not going to come out and say, yeah, it's going to happen because it needs to be voted on. But we feel pretty confident, you know, that PTSD and I mean, there's 1.8 million veterans in the state of Texas. And of those 1.8 million, I think it was Arthur that, was it 80% of them are combat veterans?
Yes, it is. It's pretty close to that, yes.
Pretty close to that, you know. So, I mean, do the math. You're talking 1.2 million, 1.1 million combat veterans that could probably benefit from. And I think the state now, the door has been cracked. You know, they cracked the door. And the bill, I've met with the group that wrote the bill, Texas Star Alliance. I've met with them. John Pitt Sr. is a former Texas Supreme Court justice, and the bill was worded in such a way to crack the door. And Governor Abbott, you know, John Pitt Sr. and Jr. were standing in the governor's office when he signed Senate Bill 339, and the governor said, I said I would never sign any marijuana legislation, but this is medical cannabis and I'm okay with this. So if we look at it from a medical lens, and I know everybody wants recreational cannabis, right? Responsible use, but I would say, in all honesty, that's what we're pushing for right in the long term, but let's try to refrain from really throwing that out in everybody's face right now, because it's not going to happen this legislative session. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. I've met with a lot of representatives and some senators and their staff, and the environment just right now it's not going to happen. So anything and everything that we want to get passed has to get done through a medical lens. And by signing that bill, he has told us that he is okay with medical. Why can a person with epilepsy have cannabis CBD, but a dying cancer patient can't? Or somebody dying from AIDS, or a veteran who was willing to give his life for this country and now has lost a couple of limbs due to that? I mean, there's just too much compelling, you know, information out there today. We feel really strong, but we need everybody's help with getting that passed. I mean, people need to be active, contact your local representatives, contact your local state senators, stay in their ears, let them know we're not going away, request meetings, demand meetings, you know, be active and do it in a responsible, professional manner. Don't call your senator and say, I want fucking legal weed. You know? That hurts. And in all honesty, I'm being honest, that hurts the cause. It really hurts the cause. Show up in a suit and tie, cut your hair, shave your face. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir. And I support medical reform and you know, for cannabis.
Pass the mic.
All right, next question. You want to pass the microphone?
I can be loud enough. Can you just specify on shave your face?
No. Obviously, my face is not shaved.
Okay.
Yeah. Just don't go in there with a dirty appearance.
Look respectable.
Look
okay.
respectable, absolutely. Because I have a beard, you know, so that's absolutely, man. Don't go in there with, you know, Cheerios in your beard, you know.
I've got a question on you know, you're saying the post-traumatic stress syndrome for veterans. Well, those who are not veterans also have post-traumatic stress syndrome. I've had surgery, I've got back problems, I've got a lot of problems. And the medical stuff that y'all have up there now, my doctor said point blank, I will not allow you to use marijuana. This has the marijuana, or the oils from a marijuana plant. It'll show up in your system that you had marijuana in your system to a doctor that will test you for it. How can I make this a point to tell my doctor that I choose to use the oil or the smoke, any which way I can to get the help from the marijuana plant. Because my doctor's already has just told me I cannot use it.
Get a different doctor.
There's a bunch of them out there that will.
So real quick, for that note, we're all lab result tested, and you're getting some in the products. And you have a rational conversation with your doctor, you bring in this along with the product that's not illegal, and then you just let them do the research on it. And one thing we're hearing is, you go in and you talk to your doctor, and you bring it into his awareness, or her awareness, and they don't, and you come back, and if they still are in the know or ignorant to it, you get another doctor. If you can, get them to open up their minds to it. I think the whole world will benefit from these doctors getting on board, because right now I see people running the opposite direction. They're really upset with the medical community. And I think a lot of it has been because the hands have been tied. And most of these doctors work in 16, 20-hour days. I don't really blame them so much, but they're not having time to do the research. They have, just like our legislators, they need to know that it's a concern, or they're not going to do anything about it. If they realize that they're losing votes, let's say a legislator, because they're not, voicing the views of their constituents. If the doctor's losing patients because they're not opening their minds to the legalities of it, I think soon enough, the dollar speaks volumes,
And I would say, don't use the word marijuana.
Right, that's what I was going.
I would say, just as a society, as a movement in Texas, let's move away from that word.
I agree.
Okay, because that word has a lot of taboo behind it. Okay, let's use the word cannabis.
But we're not going to change normal.
But let's use the word, in all seriousness, use the word cannabis. It's going to get you a lot more open. You're going to be received with more open mind. And don't use the word marijuana. I would say, one, use the word cannabis, and two, make sure he understands you want to take hemp products, not marijuana products, because marijuana and cannabis is a Schedule I controlled substance. He's not going to approve of that, period. But if you tell him, I want to take hemp products, that, by the way, you will not test positive for THC through your doctor's testing. We have clients that go through that. So you will not test positive for any cannabis if you take hemp products. But I would just make that very clear. I'm not asking you to, okay marijuana. I would like to take a hemp alternative.
Your doctor's probably not educated on it, honestly. Because if he's telling you that he's not going to approve you taking any marijuana products, then that's just telling us that he's probably not educated on what you're actually asking. You just need to, unfortunately, some of these doctors, like he was saying, some of these doctors, the continued training and stuff that they go through has absolutely nothing to do with cannabis. Whenever they go through medical school and everything, they're brought up through the pharmaceuticals. Whenever they go to work every day, they're inundated with pharmaceutical salespeople. They're not inundated with cannabis salespeople or anything like that. So a lot of times they don't really have the education that they really need on cannabis products and stuff. And so whenever he says marijuana, he's thinking that you're probably talking about something out of Colorado or something like that, as opposed to a CBD type product.
And mind you, from the research I've done, you'd have to consume vast amounts. Per milligram, if you take a dropper of ours, it's low maintenance. The strongest I have per dropper is 50 milligrams. The 750 milligram product that we have in tincture, it's distributed through however many droppers you're having in the bottle. So if there's 15 full droppers in that whole 15 milliliter bottle, then you're dividing the 750 by the number of droppers you're getting. So it would be 50. You're talking thousands of milligrams per day. Heavy user, maybe somebody with a brain tumor in Colorado that's trying to really radically, help themselves. But if you're just doing a little vaping, we sell a disposable pen, 250 puffs in this disposable pen, 30 milligrams of CBD, and people are receiving these PTSD benefits, So I did the math, it's 0.12%. It's not much at all. You'd be good. you know.
You need 4.5 milligrams of THC in a 24-hour period to test positive for THC.
Yeah.
So a product that has 0.3%, let's just say a product that has 0.14% THC is 1.41 milligrams per gram, meaning you would need to consume 4 grams of raw oil in one day. I mean, I just don't see how, I mean, there's no application that you would need to consume 4 grams of raw oil. Unless you just, honestly, there's no reason to do that. You know, you're talking a couple $100 worth of oil. So you're not going to test positive, and I would just use the word hemp. And
The oils then, if I choose to use them, they won't show up. But can I talk to you after this program to find out how to talk to you?
Sure.
I mean, okay. 'Cause
I
I'd
think
like
any
to-
one of us would be open to have any conversation.
Yeah.
I would like to
Something
even
like that.
start something for myself, selling the hemp oil and everything. I'm into doing that, but I need to find out more about it.
Well, I think we have business cards up on the table. Everybody's welcome to grab them, and any time, call or email any of us. I mean, we're not competitive, you know, we're not competitively, you know, no, call me, don't call Glenn. You know. We're not up here trying to say ours is better than the others. You hear, it's just a conversation, and we want to bring awareness to the people.
The beauty about all of us, I think for the most part, is that I know, personally speaking, I think every single one of us have been on the phone at 10, 11 o'clock, 12. I'm not saying anybody, please don't call us that late, but my wife usually tends to give me dirty looks whenever, because I'm not the one that goes, I just got to let it ring. I'll answer it, and I think most of these other guys will as well. But, you know, I have people calling on our 1-800 line at literally, what we were just talking about the other day. There was somebody that called, it was like Sunday night at 11:45, swear to God, 11:45 on our 1-800 night, and I went ahead and answered it, and my wife's looking at me because she's getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, going, I gotta take it, you know. I don't know. So, but that's just the way, once again, whenever you're in this business and you want to make sure that your customers and the people that you're dealing with are taken care of, it's not a deal to where somebody is like going, hey, you know, I'm trying to figure out if I need to drink Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper. You know, it's just, there are people asking you serious questions. They're having things that are going on in their life that they want to get taken care of. And so I think for all of us, it's important that we're there for them when they're reaching out to us. And so I think all of us are the same way when it comes to that. So.
Next question, Arthur?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, let's see here. I was going to say that, and I was not
We-
going to. But anyway, I was just going to say that
We'll repeat the question.
as a point of information, if you really want to try to find out some more about CBD, that there's a website called CBD Project that just has a lot of information. That's all they kind of specialize in, and they have videos, and they have research papers. They have all kinds of really good stuff that will really educate you about some of the uses.
Well, and so does the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, okay.
The Mayo Clinic has a ton of information.
And so to recap for our video viewers, that was CBD
CBD
project.
I think it's Project CBD.
Project
that's
CBD,
right.
you mean.
It's Project CBD, yeah.
And then a lot of testimonials on that is what you're saying.
There's
They got
just
a
a
lot of
lot
good
of
stuff.
information, yeah, very informative.
Very informative.
So next question?
Hello? Okay. I'll just ask that. Okay, so I have a question for Carlos. With your facility, you said you're planning on
Yeah.
building. I was wondering what, if you're planning on growing strains that are higher in CBD content, like...
Yeah, so we've
Can you
been,
repeat the question first?
yeah, so he's asking for which strains do we plan on growing. So the beautiful thing about the Texas law, a lot of people don't like the regulations the way they're written, but I think that you have to interpret, it's all about interpretation. And so the strains that we're going to be growing, you know, we have access through relationships. You know, we've been in the cannabis industry for a long time in California. We have access to strains that are 20-to-1. So 20% CBD to 1% THC. And these are strains that these individuals have held for a long time. They're heirloom proprietary genetics that, you know, we have access to, which is what we're going to be growing. But this program, I firmly believe, I wouldn't be putting my money and the money of our investors at risk if I wasn't really, really confident that Texas medical cannabis is about to blow up. I am very, very confident with it. And so we're going to be growing a variety of different strains, you know. You can't extract oil from them, but the regulations don't put anything into place about breeding genetics. So we're going to be breeding genetics, playing with the different genetics that we have, trying to find different, make our own different strains, which we already have proprietary strains. We have a number of proprietary strains, some that are 30% THC, and we'll be breeding all these different genetics because I think the program is going to blow wide open eventually. We can't extract the oils and flowers and sell those oils, but the Texas Department of Public Safety is testing the final product. So we're not going to be able to sell those flowers or oils; they'll be destroyed. But it doesn't matter. We're going to have a lot of different strains, in our arsenal, and that's really just preparing for. Hey, everybody knows that. So in Colorado, you could not get a recreational license unless you had a medical license. Okay, and right now I know of about 30 different groups in the state of Texas that are applying for Senate Bill 339 licenses. At some point, the director of the Department of Public Safety, the Compassionate Use Act, has told me directly on the phone and through email, they're licensing everybody who qualifies. So the market is going to chew people out. It's going to spit people out at a ridiculous rate. And, but that's fine, We're willing to take that risk because we're very confident in our abilities to perform in that environment. And once the responsible use licenses get issued, it's going to be the medical companies that went through all that turmoil that, were able to, come out of that, at the end of the day, showing that they can operate within those guidelines and follow the rules that are going to get the rec licenses. So it's really just all preparation for when we have responsible use in the state. Right now it's everything is in its infancy stages, and the regulations are being amended as we speak. We got an email 2 weeks ago from the director for proposed changes that they're making because they understand that it's flawed, And you know what? The DPS really wants this program to be successful. They really want the program to be successful. Somebody's going to provide medicine for 180,000 patients in the state of Texas. Somebody's going to be doing it.
Well, it's already available. That's the only thing that.
Yeah, the difference is the THC level,
Yeah.
right? It's 0.5. That allows for 0.5 THC, and really, it becomes that limit is not practical, and that's what we're trying to relay to the state. And the Republican Party just added that to their platform. I think that there will be changes made. I really do think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Do any of your extracts preserve any of the other cannabinoids that are beneficial when they all work together?
Yeah, absolutely. Our American Shaman, we have 85 cannabinoids that we preserve and 214 terpenes. So people put a lot of emphasis on the CBD and the THC, and there is a lot of, I think, benefits from everything, the whole thing. So really, it's all in the process of the extraction and how you do it, and all CO2, extract processes here, I'm assuming. So it's just loaded, and our lab results will show that too. So you're always open to seeing what we have in our product, and it changes every time a product comes in. So mine, being that it comes from Norway, it sits in customs, at the harbor, and it'll sit there for about 2 weeks. And we're going to have the DEA look at it, the FDA, and Homeland Security, and they're going to approve it, and then they're going to send it over to us. And then we're going to finish it up, and then that's where that comes in, the final product. But we're learning that the fresher it is, the more you can maintain. Just like if you pull a vegetable out of the garden, the longer you hold on to it, the worse it gets. There again, you look and you notice there's a dark bottle. It's going to keep the sun from impacting it and damaging it. So we're going through all of the steps we can to preserve as many cannabinoids and many terpenes as possible because it's all good.
This is a follow-up question that fits well with all this. So I think I've bought some snake oil, and I think I've bought some quality products. It's really been hit and miss. I've found a couple quality products. You guys all have different lab tests. as a user, how do I know? You said do the research, which is great. We could go to the Mayo Clinic and look at general information. Is there quality third-party verification to say this is what this product actually contains? Because I've hit a couple of different of your websites, and it's all fine. I think you were saying as much as you legally can say. But where can we go to sort of find verified information about your products outside of what you are saying?
Are you talking about somebody third-party validating our results? So like say you get a bottle of our tincture and you go to Pro Verde with that bottle and seeing if it matches up, something like that? Or if we're gonna pay for a different company to then, like an audit, double audit kind of thing?
Any and all the above, right?
Because anybody is welcome to test our products.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we stand behind what we represent. I think we all
Yeah, I
stand
think
for that.
any of us here would say, man, you can take any of these products off the table right now and take them down to a lab and have them tested. And there's, we were at a health food store a little while back, and I was actually kind of blown away because there's a product that they were carrying that they've actually been through three different lawsuits in just the last 2 years. And unfortunately, some of these lawsuits, and one of the lawsuits they were in was actually because their product contained too much lead, high levels of lead, which is typically going to be CBD that you get down in China. One of the other lawsuits that they were going through was actually they didn't contain any CBD at all. So those are things that, unfortunately, once again, you have to take the information that's available, those lab tests and things like that, and you kind of went through a situation to where, yeah, it sounds like you probably did get some snake oil. It's an unregulated market right now. It's tough. I mean, I think you could get any one of our 3 products and you're going to be safe. Like I said, we tell people all the time, hey, look, if you have any doubt at all, take our product and have it tested.
Where can they do that?
There's a lot. You can go
Pro
online.
Verde, Pro Verde only charges $60 for a cannabinoid test.
Yeah.
So any company that you're going to buy products from, I would call them and say, send me a certificate of analysis and a lab report.
Yeah.
And then I would even furthermore say, okay, explain to me the dosing on your bottle.
Right.
Your bottle says it has 100 milligrams of hemp oil. Okay, well, what percentage of CBD is that hemp oil?
What's the actual percentage of CBD that's going on?
So what's the actual milligram dosage in your bottle? You know what I mean? So you got to really take it upon yourself to ask those questions, because if you don't, I know for a fact that there's companies that say, hey, we have 100 milligrams of hemp oil in our bottle. Okay, well, what percentage? It's 12% CBD. Oh, so you're telling me there's 12 milligrams of CBD in 100, and it says 100 milligrams, and then let me see your lab results. And we have our stuff is tested twice. So we have third party. We have Pro Verde test our stuff as well. So and you can call Pro Verde and verify our results through Pro Verde because we're one of their clients. So transparency. If somebody's not being transparent with you, and you feel, go with your gut. That's what I would say, man. I mean, I've always go with your gut. If you're talking to somebody on the line and they're spinning you in circles and, oh yeah, this and well, yeah, our lab reports all email it to you in 2 weeks, and then, they're not being transparent for a reason, So ask for transparency. That's the only thing you can do as a consumer. Demand transparency from these companies.
Until it gets more regulated.
Yeah,
and
until it gets regulated.
Right. I'd like to go back to your question real quick. This is a deal that we're actually fixing to do a blog on. We have a lady that we work with over in California and a couple other companies that we work with that there's a trend going on right now about isolates. And we, as a company, we're trying to decide if we wanted to pick up isolates or not. And I'm still on the fence on it. We as a company have decided not to pick up isolates as of right now. Whenever you're talking about using all the different types of cannabinoids that are in the cannabis plants, they all have some type of an effect on your body. And then some cannabinoids need other cannabinoids to have an effect on your body. But what you're doing with an isolate is you're literally taking everything out. You're isolating the actual CBD compound. And so that is one thing why we hadn't gone over to the isolates yet. So if you ever go to our website or anything like that, we're kind of true to the raw oil kind of effect, just like what you were saying. As time goes on, those will typically degrade and stuff. But we're trying to capture as many of those with the exception of the THC, as we possibly can, because all those are going to have some type of effect on your body. So that's why we hadn't really jumped on board the isolate bandwagon or train yet. There's a use for it, and it has to do more along the lines with lotions and stuff like that. But whenever you talk about the total overall, whenever you hear people talk about doing a whole plant extraction, well, the benefits of getting a whole plant extraction is because you're using everything that plant has to offer. And each of those cannabinoids are working with other cannabinoids to do things within your body. If you're isolating every single bit of those out, with the exception of the CBD, then you've just done away with all the benefits of all those other products in there, those other cannabinoids in there. And so if you ever, and like I said, we're fixing to do a big blog on this whole thing. So if you ever wonder why we as a company or some companies carry isolates and other companies don't, that's why.
I think I need to clear something up too. As far as CBD, this whole conversation is about CBD and the CBD benefits, and I think you brought up a good point. And I think, not that I've been sitting on something, but our company is a little bit more unique now too. We are more organic as far as not just the product that we use, but as we try to conform to what works. And this is a new market. I mean, we've only been 6 weeks, year and a half, and I don't know how long Glenn's been in, but we're all babies, basically in this whole industry. And you can come out of the gate and say, I know what the best part of the hemp plant is. And then you can find out 6 months later that, oh, I guess I was wrong, but I was close. And now you change your business practices around that. So we're very malleable. And as we've been talking and doing the research, and I was listing off some of these doctors from earlier, this Dr. Guzman from Madrid and Shulam from Tel Aviv, they're leading towards even a different blend, like something that's not even necessarily what we're really pro CBD on. They've been